Well, hi, everybody. Welcome to the Meno Lounge. I'm Julie Gordon-White, CEO of Menowell, Menopause Energy and Protein Bars. And doesn't it feel like fall is here? I don't know what the weather is where you are. Maybe warm. Hey, Sandy. Maybe not, but fall is here. Leaves have dropped everywhere. And we're all eating toasted vanilla almond topped with pumpkin everything. So stand by for some recipes on how to use our toasted, here we go, fiber, your protein, you're full, and you don't eat all the other sweets on the table when you go places. All right, here she comes. Oh, Shannon. Oh, look at all those fun things you have back there.
In my husband's office, it's the best lighting, but I tried to take some of the distraction off, but got lots of work.
I love it. I am so happy to see you, friend. It's been a minute, huh?
It has been a minute, but I've been seeing you go all over the places with all the Menowell bars that I eat all the time. So I'm gonna have to try some of those recipes on the toasted vanilla ones because I've been doubling down on the double chocolate brownie. So
I know, and I'm a peanut butter girl, so I'm, just making that shift because I love all things pumpkin too. So to have, a bar at the base, that way you get all that good fiber and goodness in there. So Shannon, I'm so excited to have you. We met was it January? Is that when the event was?
Yeah, I think so. January, February, something like that.
Earlier this year at Mary Claire's Life in the Pause cruise, which was so fun. Got to really hang out. And when I saw you the first time, your presence is so just grand, gorgeous, tall, statuesque, kind, all wrapped into one. Thinking, who is that woman? Who is that woman? And you asked so many questions. Then I went on to learn that you're certified new integrative nutritionist, and a health coach. You're also a badass entrepreneur. You and your husband run an amazing real estate company. But also, you were a bodybuilder. So I'm like, okay, all the things on the Menno Lounge.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I'm blushing. That was such a beautiful introduction. I'm so honored to be here, Julie. I love what you're doing and the awareness that you're bringing to other women and going through this transition in midlife. And, we're all in it together, and 100% of us are going through it. We live long enough, and it's just beautiful to know that we don't have to suffer through it. And there's things we can do to optimize our lives through menopause.
For sure. So let's start. Your coaching company is called Be Disciplined.
Yes, Be Disciplined. So I started that. So my background is in finance, and I just was kind of pigeonholed into that because I was good at it. But my passion has always been health and vitality. It came from a long line of people that were not so healthy and overweight, obese, and I just didn't want to be pigeonholed with this is my genetic makeup, because your epigenetics are significantly more important than your actual genetics. And so I got really fascinated with bodybuilding and nutrition, and I didn't start bodybuilding until after I had my third son. So entering competitions, and it was kind of all right, how am I gonna get my body back? I need this goal. And so I was 38 and entered my first bodybuilding competition, and it was just so empowering. I hated the stage. I gotta say, I hated the stage. That spotlight on me in a little tiny bathing suit wasn't super comfortable for me, but the training and the discipline that came along with getting to that point was so fascinating and so impactful. And it changed not just only my body composition, but my mindset. And then it also just kind of filters through all the people that, I'm blessed to influence and to have around me. And so it gave me a really great foundation in muscle and strength.
I love it. And so then you decided that was just really the core of your identity going forward, about being disciplined. And so how does that apply for women in midlife? Because, me, I'm an open book here, right? I am very disciplined in business. I'm pretty, I'd say 80, 95%, I'm not 85% disciplined with my food, which is why I created a bar and, in the first place to have that shortcut. But fitness, I struggled there, Shannon. You know, I talk to women every day. I work with Challenger. I have like all the best tools, and I still can struggle with my discipline. So I just see that my charge is getting low here. I struggle with my discipline. So help us think through that, you know, especially in midlife when we have a lot of things asking for our attention, which nothing is more important than our health, but it kind of feels like it sometimes. How do you help
1,000%.
women through that?
As women, we're caregivers, so we're taking care of everybody else before ourselves. And you know, the whole cliche, self-care isn't selfish, you can't pour from an empty cup, all of those things truly apply. And it takes a real mindset shift in order for us to get out of our own way. Because the one thing that I will say, and the people that my coaching clients, they have all these huge goals, but then they come and they're like, I'm going to eat healthy, I'm going to cut out sugar, I'm going to lift 5 days a week, I'm going to run 3 days a week, I'm going to go to yoga. And I'm like, whoa, you've got so many things, and we just make it so complicated. And we also want to do all those things, but if we feel like if we can't do it all, then let's just not do anything. And it just doesn't have to be so all encompassing. Strength training could be just body weight. It could be just air squats, lunges, walking, like Mary Claire talks, she walks all the time with her weighted vest. That's just extra weight, and it's just about progression. So wherever you are, just start is what I would tell my clients. Pick one thing you want to focus on. It could be drinking more water. It could be incorporating some strength training, but again, air squats, tricep dips on your coffee table. It doesn't have to be a gym membership and hitting 3 weights, because that's really intimidating a lot of times for women, and they don't know where to start. And if they don't have the funds, they just decide, oh, I'll just go for walks, which is still great. Walking is actually the best exercise for longevity, very close behind strength training. But so if you can walk with a weighted vest, it's like you could kill 2 birds.
Oh, yeah. I think, do you run into women, especially in midlife, who are very achievement oriented, you know, and so like that's why if I'm not lifting heavy weights in my home gym or at my gym, then I'm too busy, you know, that kind of thing. So,
but what is heavy? Right? Heavy for you might not be heavy for someone else, but what's heavy, you know, for someone that's significantly stronger than me, it's just about, I always tell my clients, progression and load. So you want to increase your load, the weight you're lifting, but it could be just starting out with your body weight, and then you add maybe resistance bands, and then maybe you work up to some salt and pepper weights, I call them, and then you just progress. And then, you know, as far as the progression, you could add more exercises. You could learn to maybe superset a couple things, do a circuit. I teach 15-minute high intensity interval classes that are strength based. And so, you know, as we're in midlife, we don't want to shoot our cortisol up and just do like those true HIIT workouts. But doing like a 15-minute circuit, you can get so much accomplished in such a short period of time, and you really feel it the next day. I mean, just with some exercise bands, I lift in the gym with free weights, but I still get a good burn in a workout with my exercise bands.
Yeah. Especially those thick, heavy ones, right?
Yeah.
Shannon, have you thought about doing any bodybuilding now that I know your boys are older, and you know, have you thought about returning to the stage?
Well, never say never. It's funny because I did ask especially my oldest, who's our oldest son, just went to college. It's at San Diego State, go Aztecs. And you know, I said, would you be embarrassed if I decided to do that again? And he's like, no, that's badass. I love that my mom is into that. But really, it's really time consuming. When I was training for those shows, I was lifting an hour plus 6 days a week. And I just don't have space for that in my life right now. And I guess the other piece to it is that it was great. It was so empowering, but it was just for me. And I'm way more passionate about helping other people and sharing others. So, you know, that's a solo sport. You're in with your headphones on. I call it my resting gym face. Nobody bothers you because you just need to get in and get your workout in. But especially in this new phase of life. And I am like double down on talking to everyone, because I feel like I hit maybe 47 and I felt like I went off the menopause cliff, and, you know, lack of energy, even my workouts. You know, I'm used to bodybuilding, but now as you talk about women being high achievers,
Right.
and just wanting to accomplish all of these huge goals. Going to the gym was really humbling because I'm to lifting at this level, and now I had to bring it all the way back down here. And I really had to get over my own ego, to, for lack of a better word, to, you know, to be able to honor that this is where my body is, this is the phase of life that I'm in. And so I just need to be so grateful that, you know, I have a strong foundation of strength, and it's more about maintaining, because as our estrogen declines, of course, so does our muscle mass, and women are, as we age, sarcopenia is the thing. We lose our muscle mass, which causes so many kinds of other related health issues. So just knowing that, hey, I don't have to have a PR today, but getting there is better than perfect. Just getting to the gym, even if I go just stretch, it's better than not going. And I always feel so much better after I leave. There's no such thing as a bad workout.
Yeah, that might be the PR, just getting across the
Yeah.
threshold of the gym,
Yeah.
right? Yeah,
Absolutely.
amazing. So switching a little bit to nutrition, you talk about somatic intelligence of the body. Can you tell us a little bit more about what you mean about that, and then how that applies to women in midlife, especially?
There's just so much information out there for strength training, working out, nutrition, you know, the keto, the Mediterranean, the paleo, the Whole30, whatever it is. It's like paralysis by overanalysis. And so I talk a lot about, you know, when do we stop listening to our own bodies intuitively? We know that something that has an expiration date of 5 years down the road is probably not the best nutrition choice for me. We know that I say ultra processed foods, because if you roast a chicken breast, you're processing it. Right. But it's the ultra processed foods. We know that that's not something that I need to Google. Are these donuts healthy for me? I mean, we know the answer to that intuitively. Right. And so it wasn't, though, really until I started doing bodybuilding that I was so structured, and I had to go back into the real world, and I wasn't carrying my Tupperware around and having my meals planned out perfectly and my macros hitting them perfectly. And I really had to listen to myself. And if I want a donut, I'm going to have it. And like you said, you know, 85%, that's better than most. I mean, it's so important to focus on eating, you know, 80% of your foods from whole, nutritious choices. And I always say, don't crowd out. You add in more things that you know or you like that are good for you. And then you'll have room, if you want, for those things that are your treats later.
Right. That makes so much sense, especially to women who, you know, their sugar cravings might be heightened because of the lack of estrogen, et cetera. So we don't have to feel shame about eating certain, you know, small amounts of things that we enjoy. I mean, I don't think we should give up things that we enjoy, but we don't need to make them dominate our entire menu or become a meal, which can happen.
We have so many celebrations around food. And so it's when you decide that you're going to go on a diet, I call it a 4-letter word. I hate the word diet because it's a lifestyle. You're not on a diet, because that has got to start and an end period. You adapt and add things in, and it's just bit by bit. I always have people start with increasing their water consumption. Almost 90% of the time, that's the first thing that we work on. They're like, well, wait, what about my meal plan? Wait, what about my workout? No, first, yes, exactly. We're starting with water because we are chronically dehydrated. And oftentimes when you think you're hungry, you're really just thirsty. So I always tell people to start there, and then gradually just move in or add in movement. You'll hear me talk about OTMs a lot, opportunities to move. So whether that be taking the stairs rather than the escalator, parking on the other side of the parking lot from Target or the grocery store, just find those opportunities to move. Park far away when you're going to pick your kids up from school, so you just have a few extra steps. It all adds up and makes such a big difference and pays huge dividends.
Yeah, I love that. It does all add up. Shannon, you know, we have our new Menowell method that's really focused on protein and fiber. And it's been really interesting to hear women talk about how they are eating well. So they're eating healthily, but they still have more weight on them than they want to. And talk about how, you know, when we eat more energy, because that's all food and calories are, right? More energy, even if it's healthy energy, than what our bodies need based on the amount of movement, we're still going to hold that weight. Can you kind of talk to some of the intricacies of that? Because I think that's a confusing thing. Like, don't you hear women say, I eat so well, but I don't understand. I'm not
Yeah,
losing weight.
and oftentimes I find that they're not eating enough, Julie, and they're almost starving themselves. And our bodies are very intelligent, and they have one job to do, and that is to not die. So
Right. Keep
if
us
you're,
alive.
yeah,
That's it.
stay alive. And so if you're restricting and cutting out things and restricting your calories, it is going to hold on to things. And if you're not eating the right things at the right time, and that's another thing that gets so confusing. So I talk a lot about protein first, protein, because that's going to help preserve muscle mass. Having protein first thing in the morning is going to activate uh, muscle building and repair, because at night when you sleep, our muscles are breaking down. And so it's muscle protein synthesis is what is activated when you're eating the right amino acids. And so first thing in the morning, when a lot of people are grabbing a bagel or toast or just coffee and going out the door, coffee on an empty stomach also, I read a research paper that it helps or increases your cortisol levels, which is the last thing we want to do in midlife. So whether it's eggs, whether it's a protein shake, whether, just adding, or yogurt, adding some protein, starting your day with protein satiates you, keeps you full longer, and also gives you the energy to crush your day.
Yeah.
And then you talked about fiber too. We're all chronically below fiber. And I started tracking mine, especially after Mary Claire came out with her fiber supplement. I went, oh wow, I have not hit my fiber. We're supposed to be at 25 grams, men at 35. And the average woman and man are around 15 grams of fiber a day. And that really just slows everything down in your body. And so
Not to mention our gut health, right? Because we
yeah,
need those prebiotics and probiotics. And I mean, a mineral bar is going to give you a third of your fiber in one bar. And so I know some days I would say, I'm not sure I want to eat a mineral bar today because I had two yesterday,
too much.
but I always do, because it's always to make sure it's like an insurance policy that tastes good. You got to get that fiber in
Yeah.
there. Not just the fullness, which is huge, but our gut health. It's so, so important.
And
So yeah.
there's the gut brain axis is a real thing. And so our brain cognition is going to falter if we are not fueling ourselves properly. And so that does include the nutrients, the micronutrients that we need as well.
Absolutely. So going down that road, I'm not sure, maybe you want to share with us a little bit more about your own menopausal journey, but you created some meal plans, including one that, let me just make sure, for mental health, for depression. And I thought that was so interesting and unique. So did that come about from your own experience or through your clients? And then tell us, how do you eat to support mood, mental health, and especially depression?
Yeah. So that came about more because of my kids. My oldest son was struggling with anxiety. I have a middle son who is raging ADHD, and nutrition is such an integral part of the treatment or causes of some of the things that he struggles with. And so, and then also I think I brought it out around Mental Health Awareness Month, but it's for me, I guess in my menopause journey, like I said, I felt like I went off a menopause cliff. I hit 47, was diagnosed with Hashimoto's, but I'd had it for a while, but evidently just been managing it because I had mostly make healthy lifestyle and food choices. And so just trying to figure out what was wrong with me when, I wasn't drinking, I was going to bed at a decent hour and getting great sleep. I, all the trackers, my Apple Watch, my Whoop strap, all the things that I crushed it. And I would still wake up with brain fog and exhaustion. And I'd get my kids to school and I'd come home and feel like I needed to go back to sleep. And that takes a toll on your mindset. I felt like I was failing at everything. And so when you're feeling like I'm the super mom, I'm a superwoman, I used to be able to do all these things, and how could it almost felt like overnight, I went from being that person to this lazy couch potato who can barely cook a meal, let alone go to the gym and volunteer in our kids' classrooms and show up as a COO, CFO of our company. And so just really dialing in on my nutrition, even though I already ate healthy, adding those calcium, adding more probiotics, prebiotics, like the things like the fiber, green leafy vegetables, and really focusing on my protein consumption, because I did realize I'd gotten out of the bodybuilding world, so I was all set there because it was all about protein. But then left to my own devices, I realized, wow, even though I was eating really healthy, I wasn't eating enough, or the quantity of certain macronutrients that really were going to move the needle for me.
Mm-hmm.
So,
wow. So that's impacted and supported how you felt, and then also for your son. So that's like, because also that is an outcome for many women who are in perimenopause also is ADHD or ADD. So
yeah,
we don't really talk about that.
I
So
call
the
it,
way we eat.
I call it we've gone mad. It's mom ADD.
There
I've
you
gone
go. I mean, it's just the ability, can't focus, right? Really struggling with focus. And so I love that you did. I'm going to download that protocol because I think it's important. And anything we can do to support, our mental capacity is important for our overall health, because we just don't feel good. We feel bad when we can't focus, or we're depressed and heavy, not physically heavy, but mentally heavy. So
been physically healthy too, and you're like, how is it that overnight I'm not doing anything different? I'm not eating differently, I'm not working out less, but all of a sudden I have extra fluff in the middle. Where the heck is that coming from?
yeah.
And that's where truly optimizing your hormones. You can't work out harder, and that's what I was trying to do, and then it messes with our cortisol even that much more, and it is just this vicious cycle. And until we get our hormones figured out, we're never going to get off that roller coaster, And so we can do so much in our health and nutrition in our movement, but
Yeah.
when that estrogen starts taking a nosedive, and it's not like men's testosterone, that's just kind of a
Right.
gradual decline. It's like
Men just get it gently over time, and we're like the cliff, right? That you talked about.
facts.
What the
Facts. I
heck?
talk about it so much that my 11-year-old told me the other day, I'm so glad I'm not a girl.
Like, but the truth is, we are experiencing even, the decline. We definitely go off a cliff, but we're experiencing over time. But we are just so used to the feeling. We're so used to the suffering, of just, I can do this, I can get these kids out of school and into college and keep going in business and career, corporate, blah, 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 until we can't. And that's when we feel the cliff. But the reality is, it was there in perimenopause. This is now the official perimenopause month. So that's very exciting. Lots of great things happening on Instagram and around. So if you're here, make sure you're searching hashtag perimenopause to see what's cooking around here. So Shannon, I know you have some tips for women around strength, the importance of strength and nutrition, and I really love the lens that you're bringing this conversation, because we talk a lot about strength and lifting heavy, but you were a bodybuilder, and I think that gives you a unique perspective on all of this, because even if you're not doing contests now, actually how to make your body create these transitions that women still seem to feel stuck and can't quite figure out, even though we talk about high protein and lifting heavy. And women who have been in a contest on a stage, you figured it out, the formula and the secret. So how about some tips to help women who really want to have a different physique or transition, and then some other magic that I know you want to share?
So I do have some tips, but I do think that it just starts with giving yourself grace and meeting yourself where you're at. And so whatever is comfortable for you. I know there's some gyms out there too that even have women only areas for strength training. And I love those. I've heard women talk about, oh, I hate that. Women that like to lift a lot. It makes me feel like I'm not, good enough to lift with the guys. And I said, I actually love that, because it gives them a soft space to start where there's not all of the heavy bodybuilder dudes gawking at them. And it can be very overwhelming and intimidating. But first and foremost, strength training, like as we age, we talked about sarcopenia, but also osteopenia, because osteopenia, as we age and lose muscle, then our bones start to weaken. And so just not focus on how much you're lifting, focus on getting stronger. And so just getting stronger every single day. So if today you can do 3 push-ups, maybe tomorrow you can do 5, or next week, just focus on getting stronger and realizing that that is actually helping your bone density and maintaining your bone health just by being consistent with your strength training. Then I always say to incorporate just resistant bands or your body weight. It doesn't have to be barbells and dumbbells. It could be just bands. It could be jugs of water. It doesn't have to be something, some weight circuit that you're doing at a gym. And then I always say start slow and build gradually. So I oftentimes will go to the gym, and wherever my energy is that day, that's going to dictate how much and how hard I'm going. And I'm just going to go. Even if to me it doesn't feel like I did that much of a workout, I'm just going to go and start slow and build up gradually and leave it all there, and then try it again tomorrow. Who knows? Maybe I can do a little bit more. Maybe I have to do a little bit less, but meeting yourself where you are. Also focusing on core strength for stability, balance, posture, all of those things. So if it's planks, if it's sit-ups, there's a lot of people that talk about, oh, I wake up in the morning and I do 50 sit-ups or 50 crunches or whatever. Just incorporate some sort of core strength. And a lot of the functional movements that we do, like, squats into like a press, a shoulder press, focus on just kind of whole body movement, and our core is really important for stability, balance, posture, as Russian twists, leg raises, whatever it may be. And then to prioritize recovery and rest, especially now. So HIIT was all the rage, and I say I shouldn't even use the word high intensity, because I don't like my circuits. I don't do any high intensity anymore. I am focusing a lot more on walking, on yoga, yin yoga even. I like hot yoga, don't get me wrong. I love a good hot yoga class, but a lot more of the restorative stuff is so nourishing. It's like having a beautiful comfort meal that's good for you. And then
I like that. Without food.
Yes, without the food.
Without
And
the
after
food.
you do those things, the last thing you want is to go get a cheeseburger or something like that. When we're pouring in and doing these restorative things, we're really nourishing our bodies on a cellular level. And it's like that, the reticular activation. So neuroplasticity in our brain is changing the way that we make decisions going forward. And so we continue to make those healthy choices. They're just going to stack and build on each other, habit stacking, if you will.
Really good. I think, if I were tuning in and I saw the image of Shannon Conklin coming on today, I don't know that I would be prepared to hear how you're describing, really just with grace, meeting yourself where you are on your journey of being stronger, of eating, more healthily. I think it's so beautiful. It's what I really liked about you, Shannon. Like, she is a badass, but she's got like all this glow around her. It's so magical.
Well, that photo cracked me up because I was very blonde, and that was about 6 or 7 years ago. So I don't look like that anymore necessarily in a bathing suit, but I do like working out at the gym still, and I love helping women. That is just my passion, and men as well will come to me, but takes a bit for them to get past their ego to ask a woman for help in the gym.
I know.
But
a little bit of that. And you were talking about one of your tips about feeling intimidated in the gym, and one of my biggest PRs, I would say, this summer in the gym is we were on vacation, and it was filled with all these young bro dudes and actually a professional basketball player, and I was like, I felt so intimidated. I'm like, okay, Julie, you can do this, and just went in there right in the middle, did my workout, did the step ups on the bench, like the whole thing, like left.
yes.
And I was so stressful, but it was stressful, but I was proud of myself more than what I lifted, about that I got over that mental block that I, was so uncomfortable being there.
Yes. And I make it a point when I see women in the gym, especially if it looks like they're maybe more on a beginner in their fitness journey or in the gym, I am so excited to see you here. I'm so glad that you're here, or you're so inspiring. Thank you for inspiring me. And I have people say that to me, and I gotta say, I get a better workout when I when somebody pours into me like that. So I definitely make it a priority to pour into others and let them know you're awesome for showing up today.
I could have used you. I could have used you there, Shannon.
Yes.
Because, but that's a wonderful idea. And let's plus one that forward. That if you're in a gym and you see another woman, lifting, you give her a or whatever, or encouragement or thank you or whatever. Let's acknowledge each other so we can pour into each other, because you never know who is going to need a little bit of that in the gym, or you can inspire somebody to come back the next day, like me. Like, if someone can inspire to make sure I come back tomorrow, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
So really, really cool. I love it. Well, I love what you're doing. I know you're growing your health coaching business. So where can people find you, Shannon? Because I know you're in the Arizona area, but tell us if you work virtually also, or tell us more about how to find you.
I'm pretty much solely virtually. Within our organization, our company, we own a real estate brokerage, and so I'll work with people in person when I went through our company, but solely online. But the best way to reach out to me is my Instagram page at official Shannon Conklin.
I love it. And you've got some meal plans. They should hop over there to go check out your free balanced meal plans, right?
Free meal plans in there, and also I have some supplement protocols as well. And so as a integrative nutrition health coach and practitioner, I'm able to offer about a 10 to 15% discount, I think, on some of them. And they're pharmaceutical grade supplements. So some of the things that, I always say, whatever you can get from your nutrition, that's the biggest bang for your buck. But, we're going to need to supplement some things, especially like some calcium or vitamin D, especially if I'm in Arizona, we have a ton of sun, but I'm not out in it all the time because
it's too hot.
It's too hot. And, I also don't want to, I'm going to be 50 next year, but I just don't want to look it. I don't mind it, the age. I just don't want to look
You want to take care of your skin. Yes, exactly.
So yeah, there's supplement protocols for men and women, and free meal plans, and I love helping people. So when they reach out to me and send me a DM if you have any questions, I get so much joy out of that. It's that's one thing I learned from my bodybuilding is just how empowering it is to transform your physique, and that's something that I can pay for.
Yeah, that's huge. I mean, the fact that I think especially in midlife, women don't feel that they can transform their physique anymore. That like those days are over. I have too much middle, visceral fat, like all of those things. It's too late, but you can still do that, right?
100% you can still do that. I want to break that myth like crazy. And also the myth that, oh, I just don't want to get bulky. Because as women, we're not going to get
Good luck. That's what I would say.
I know. I say, like, I was at my my PR when I was bodybuilding, I think I was leg pressing 450, 500 pounds. That's a lot of weight. I never go.
And I've seen your like long, like a straw.
Just strong. And so, weightlifting is not going to make us big and bulky, but it will make us strong and fierce and beautiful. And then body composition and all of that changes. All of that's in the weight on the scale. All of that's a lagging indicator. But this confidence that you get from just gaining strength and feeling more confident stepping into the gym or whatever workout you choose is priceless.
Yes, that's really what it's all about, right? Is reconnecting to the confidence that we have inside, that we've forgotten, that we set her aside, we stop believing in her. And when we eat well and we move our bodies and we strengthen our bodies, she comes back. She comes back to the surface.
Yeah, and we have so much, like if I could go back to my 25-year-old self and just download 50 or 10% of what I have in my brain now, and of just the confidence and the peace, and this is like our prime. And so seeing women deciding to opt out of the corporate world because they're feeling overwhelmed or the brain fog or all the things, it's so heartbreaking, because now more than ever we need those women 50 plus to pour into, to lead us in all of the areas, in our communities, in our businesses, in our families. I mean, I crave doing that for others, and I need more of them to pour into me.
Right. Well, we'll support them, right? That's what we're doing, Shannon.
Absolutely.
We're supporting them. So if they want to stay and feel good about it. If not, become an entrepreneur because it's really exciting over here. I always say I don't need a seat at the table. I just own my own damn table. That's just how I roll.
I love it. Love it.
So Shannon, let's pull this all together. You know, we're Menowell. And what does Menowell mean to you?
Well, other than the delicious bars that you make, being well means just that I'm fueling all, I focus on the 4 pillars. My faith is very important to me. So that's at first. My family is very important to me. My fitness, very important. That's nutrition and moving your body. And then finances, making sure that I am creating a legacy for my children and for other people around me.
I love that. Beautiful. Those 4 pillars will take us anywhere we want to go.
Absolutely.
Anywhere.
Absolutely.
Gorgeous. We'll come back again. Let's talk about finance, because I think that's an important piece for women in midlife, is really understanding investment, real estate, finance. It's a huge part of confidence and empowerment. Would you like to do that? That'd be awesome.
I would love to. Oh, I would love to.
Let's do that. All right, beautiful. Thank you for being here. Make sure you're following Shannon at official Shannon Conklin right here on Instagram. DM her with all the things. And I don't know, I might have a bodybuilding contest in my future. So.
Oh, well, let me know. I hope to train for it. Maybe I'll do it with you.
Yeah, there you go. Because the only part is like standing up there in the bikini. I'm not, we'll be prepared for that. But that one pose where you kind of have to bend over a little bit, that's what keeps me way away from this.
It's not, like I said, I felt more confident doing the Running Man in those shoes than I did like the sexy posing. But if I didn't have that goal, I wouldn't have done all the work.
For sure. Maybe we should start our own contest where, you don't have to pose like that. We can create our own rules.
Menowell bars should start their own bodybuilding competition.
Let's talk about that
45 and over.
Yes. Don't get me started. I feel a whole spark coming on. All right, to be continued, Shannon Conklin, always, always, always a pleasure. I look forward to a future conversation. I know I'm going to see you at many things coming forward in person.
Yeah. I look forward to seeing you soon. Thank you again so much.
Be well. Talk to you soon.
Bye.
Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.